That's it.
We got 28
That's
of them
it.
in the museum. We are the champions, guys, and this one was absolutely deserved. And Fermin should have got us the league last week, as we saw that goal should have stood after all the checking that was done. And he actually does win it this time. And what a goal and what a game by the Minimal. And credit to Espanyol, they did hold us with 10 people for a long time. And for the proper derby.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can expect that from them. They tried so hard to prevent this from happening at their stadium and their home ground, but it was not to be. I mean, Barca are obviously the better team. There's no question about that. We went into this game as favorites, but it feels like we're tired, right? You know, mentally, physically drained. We had a Clasico, we had Inter, we have this. This is a derby too. It's not easy to play. Espanyol are not as good as Madrid, obviously, but they're still difficult to play against in a derby, right? And away from home, especially. So this was a massive win for us, and we are the best team in Spain. I think we are among the best teams in Europe, and we have earned this. We have earned the domestic treble. We have earned La Liga, and I'm so happy. Hansi Flick, first season at the helm, he delivers. He delivers the results. Or
Reverse.
we know that yeah, absolutely. So enjoy this night, guys. I think I would say
Not be a
that just
better redemption arc than this. Like for the man
yeah,
who took us
absolutely.
where he did in 2018, 2019. From there coming back and he's leading the team with what we had, the resources that we had. It's an incredible story.
Yeah,
This is the documentary I want to see in case they have made this at the end of the season. I would love to see the documentary of this season. This is like insane. And yeah, I mean, and it's thoroughly deserved. No one can say this one was not deserved. This is probably the most deserved La Liga. And also then done like two La Ligas in the last 3 years. Not so bad for a broke
yeah,
Barcelona, for a, a team
yeah.
in disarray, for a team that has lost a lot of players and has no finances and what have you. But just goes on to show that big clubs are big clubs, and they'll be big clubs.
Exactly, and I love that because everyone thought, okay, Barca are finished. What's Flick gonna do? He can't do much. He's a big fraud. He's done something with Bayern and he disappeared. And as you said, that this is a redemption season for him as well because he had to go here
He has
and do
completely
something
redefined
with
himself as one of the best in the
yeah,
world.
exactly.
No questions on it.
Exactly, because to do this with this Barca team, no one expected that because Xavi was here right before him, and we all saw how broken this team was. And for Flick to just come in and do this with the same players as last season, with the mentality they had, with the physicality they had, and all the problems they had, to do this, Hansi Flick deserves all the credit. And I think
He's the man of the
just
match,
for
man of the
that, yeah,
series, man of everything.
yeah, I
Absolutely.
think so. So it's crazy. It's crazy. But as I say, big teams are big teams, and we somehow find a way. Barca never die. We keep saying that, and that is true because Barca always have the foundation to fall back on to the La Masia. Absolutely produced. I mean, we wouldn't be here without La Masia. This is
No,
also something that we
and it's
have to take
and
into
it goes
account.
on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
goes on to say
and
the what you talked about, Lamazia. I think the kids won it, the league
yeah,
this time.
exactly.
The
Hmm.
Femini won the league. We won the league. Femini probably will
Hmm.
win the Champions League as well. So for a club which plays football across the women's, kids, and men's team, I doubt there's a
Hmm.
single club in
Yeah,
the world who has this level of influence in the game through the way they play football. And that's a huge
yeah,
testament to
yeah,
Barca's philosophy of playing, La Masia, everything. And this is just a credit, and credit where it belongs. I mean, this one goes to Porta and the board and everybody else. Like they're the ones
yeah,
who have
yeah,
taken this forward. So credit where it's due. But what I mean, what a season and how many winners like Lamine, Rafinha,
yeah.
Hansi Flick, Pedri, De Jong, Fermin Lopez.
Obviously, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a list of winners out of this season,
Yeah.
and Barca probably just redefined their entire core for the next 10 seasons, probably. And this is what they
Hmm.
want to see, the adjustments around this. And it's so happy, such a happy
Yeah.
day.
And that's the thing, because we are only at the very beginning. I mean, yes, it's Fleck's first season, and the first season can be a bit of a honeymoon phase, as we keep saying, and the second season can be a bit of a struggle, which we have seen with Xavi as well. It happens to most coaches that transition from a very successful season where you get the bar so high, because now going into next season, the expectations will be the same thing, only better, right? Now, can we do the same thing, only better next season?
It'll be super
It will
hard. It's
depend
going to be
on,
super hard.
yeah, it will be super hard. It will be super hard. Number one, we do have this young squad that will keep getting better. Yes, they will. But to keep this consistency at this high level with such a young squad is very difficult. And now, number two, we do have to go into the market very smartly and then find things that will help us be this consistent force moving forward. But yes, to do this with players who are just beginning their story, that's the most important thing, because these players, they've just begun. And for most of them, this is the experience of a lifetime. And even losing to Inter, I think losing to Inter can be such a big thing long term. It can
Mentally.
teach these
Yeah.
kids a lot, yeah, mentally as well, to come recover from that and go and beat Madrid and beat Espanyol in the next two games to win the league. That is absolutely gigantic. It just
I mean,
speaks
you saw that
volumes
today,
because
right? I
this.
mean, at the dying ages, I think Lamine had an option to go. He was
Mhm.
on the clear, he was on the counter, but he didn't. He ran to the on a flag.
Yeah,
So they're
yeah,
learning.
yeah.
They're already
Still
learning,
learning. Yeah.
things like that.
Hmm.
So, yeah, there's so many things that these kids will learn, and they're so young at 18, 17, 19, 20.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
having this experience, which is
yeah.
like worth its weight in gold. So they'll only become tougher and more resilient out of this. And it'll be interesting to see how now Deco and Laporta, overhaul the squad. I mean, Hansi Flick did miracles. Now, does he get the squad
Hmm.
that he wants? We all know he didn't
Hmm.
get it. He didn't want it also. I think it was one of the things that he said that, okay, I'm going to do it with this team. I want to prove to the
Hmm.
world with
Hmm.
this team that I can do it, right? So I think that's
Yeah.
basically what he did. And this time around, I think I don't know what our financial situation will be by the end of the year, but I think
Hmm.
looks like we will get that money and those seats will be delivered, and we'll have one of
Should,
those
yeah.
have you at the pace at
Yeah.
which now it's
Should
been
have.
done. So if we have that, does Hansi Flick get the squad that he wants, and in that, who does he want? Like
Hmm.
like how do we
That's the
lead
thing.
in this squad? That will be a
Mm.
huge story in the months to come, and one that will be following very closely. But for today, I
Yeah.
mean, there can be no question, insane. What a win!
It, Absolutely. I mean, it's also when you think about those players that are about to join in, and we will have more players joining. This season has altered the global image of Barcelona, or the global feeling that
Absolutely, the PR.
people get for Barca, the PR, and not just for the neutral fans. Barca and the neutral fans dream, because our games are so exciting. There's goals, we leak goals while we score goals, and for neutrals that's amazing. For rivals, it's also heartbreaking because they know that Barca never died, they never quit, never give up. You can't really count them out, even if they're one goal down, two goals down, three goals down, they will keep coming back. And I think this image now that we have of Barcelona is very important for the transfer window as well, because players will be looking at Barca and say, okay, maybe I want to be a part of that team. I want to be
Yeah,
part of the winning
obviously.
project. So why not? I will join that Barca. They are young. They may not win everything every year, but have such a good project. I want to be there. I want to be a part of that. And then that helps you in the window as well. And having a coach like Flick, having these players like Lamine and Pedri, and obviously Laporta will do Laporta things. He will do the PR for us as well. And then a new stadium, and suddenly Barca have a bit of money as well. They're beating Madrid left and right. I mean, it's all coming to place, right? It's all falling into place, and Barca have
Cannot be
what
better.
everything they need. Yeah, they have what they need to now go into next season and actually improve this team and give Flick what he needs to take us a step further. Because we as much as we love the season, there's always going to be improvements to be made, because we can't say it's been perfect performance wise, tactical stuff like that. It's not been perfect, but it's been enough, right? It's been really, really good. So all of the success will help us, not just literally help us win things, but it will help us in the transfer window. It'll help us just in the image that it creates of Barcelona, which is always going to be big, because Barca are a global brand. They are a brand, not just a club. They're a brand as well. So it's
Yeah,
important.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, this is what the Barca had lost. Like, and maybe discussed about this so many times, that the last 10 years, it was not just us not winning
Hmm.
or off pitch issues or players leaving or Club de Amigos or what have you.
Yeah.
We lost that moral high ground that Barca used to have between 2008 and 12, or even before that. Um,
Hmm.
which made us the envy of every single club in the world, which made almost every single club want to play like us in the last 10 years. And that's
Yeah.
how we have evolved the game. and Barca lost that. A
Yeah.
couple of capitulations, incredible decisions in the boardroom, many wrong mistakes made, and we lost that,
Yeah.
and that affected the club more than anything.
Hmm.
Plus, then of
Hmm.
course you have all the players leaving and the drama surrounding that. But in I won't say one season. The work has been happening for a while. We've been talking about in the last 6 years. I think Barca have let go of over 140 players, right? Let
Yeah.
go of
Yeah.
140 players, and we did some analysis earlier. So obviously, the work and the cleanup and everything has been happening. A lot of people involved in the process and so on. And today we are seeing the fruits of it. It doesn't happen in the same day.
Hmm.
But the last three
Yeah.
seasons, winning two titles under such conditions with such teams,
Yeah.
again, bringing our identity from the youth ranks, getting La Masia involved, finding the players, and then giving them that stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
This season, defeating Madrid 4 times, winning the domestic treble, so as to say, they literally did a clean sweep, went all the way till Champions League. Probably were about 2 minutes away from a final with this team. Where the only investment was Adani Olmo in the summer. That's the only investment that was made. I don't know. This is an incredible achievement from Hansi Flick
It is.
and Laporta, and you got to give them the credit. We criticized them
Hmm.
when it was, and we criticized them heavily. So today they
Hmm.
should get the credit um, that they haven't, because it does belong to them. It does absolutely belong to them. It takes courage and a lot of to get rid of the kind of players that we had, and they did. And they stuck to their guns
Hmm.
and they went to the criticism and they brought a new core and built something out of nothing. And today, I mean, I hope in the celebration, the kids and the family and everybody are involved, because everybody has contributed to the season of the club, and it's been an
Yeah.
incredible season, incredible. But
Hmm.
yeah, let's and as Manley says, we have the neutrals in our hand. Absolutely, absolutely, we have the neutrals in our hand. And there will be so many kids, so many new followers, so many millennials, whatever, who are going to you know enjoy this
Yeah.
season, start looking at this Barca as a new chapter, and that's going to help the
Hmm.
club so much in the next 5 to 10 years
Yeah.
as do this rebuild, new stadium, what have you. So looks like good futures, good times. And what
Yeah.
Dom said, like, how do we follow up on this next season, and what are the
Yeah.
players? So let's have a chat about that.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing now. And I'm so happy that we can actually talk about the future now instead of talking about Villarreal and Athletic Club, because going to those last two games,
Oh yeah, it was
still
been
not, yeah, still having to clinch the title. Oh, that would have been stressful, right? I don't want to imagine that, because those are the two very difficult games to play, especially when the title's on the line, and you have Madrid winning games in the 95th minute. That was also a bit of a blow, right? So yeah, but yeah, looking at the future and seeing who can we actually buy with all this, because we have been getting money with our performances, but also now, yeah, the VIP seats and all that stuff. And then who's going to go as well? Because this team, as you said, that there's a lot of good players there, and everyone has contributed. But then now Flick has to decide, okay, who's the guy or guys that I don't need as
want.
much, right? Yeah. So who are the guys who I can actually sell without destroying that core of the team? Because many players have contributed, many players have been very crucial, even the subs, and this obviously the starting players. So who can
Who
we
do you get rid
sell?
of? I mean, it's very hard.
Yeah, it is hard. Who has market value? Number one, and number
Do you
two,
get rid of Olmo? Do you
if
get rid of
yeah,
I don't know. Like earlier in the season,
yeah,
you'd have closed your eyes and said, okay, yeah, get rid of De Jong, or get rid of
yeah,
But it's right now Eric Garcia, De Jong, Olmo. Everybody has
yeah.
played a crucial role. Even Firmin, like there were thoughts about letting go of Firmin and so on. But I would keep Firmin in that team. I genuinely would,
Mm,
for what he brings to the table. Some talks about Gavi being a shadow of himself, but I think Gavi has quality.
mm,
I don't think. I
yeah,
mean, I think next season we'll see a very different Gavi. But yeah, let's talk about Dom. What are your positions? Yes, and Madrid has bought Houston, and maybe he'll bring in a central, controller kind of a player. What have you? I don't think
mm,
they can bring forwards anymore, because that's their problem. I think Rodrigo is going. So they will balance their team, of course, and they'll have a Xavi Alonso as a coach, who's probably a more tactical coach than Ancelotti. I won't say better or
yeah,
bad, better or worse, but a more tactical coach. And yes, it'll be interesting. And it should be
Hmm.
interesting. It shouldn't be that we are winning all the
Should
classicals. That doesn't make any sense. So that's fine. Uh, and we always say, and we said it this year also, like the Classico is 2 games, guys. The league is 38 games.
yeah.
Even if you don't win those 2 Classicos and you win those 36, the league's in your table. So I don't
Hmm.
think we should focus so much on Madrid. I think we should focus on ourselves. But Dom, yeah, who are you getting rid of, and who are you, and what are you improving in this team?
Um, I think the priorities are still the same. I tweeted today about Xavi Simons being the guy that we should have gotten instead of Olmo, and that's not a big shot. I mean, I thought
No,
it
I
wouldn't be
agree
a
with
big
you.
shot, but
I completely agree with you.
um, I think the in our piece on Olmo before he was signed, we mentioned like there was the last paragraph of my piece was comparison of Xavi Simons and Olmo. I said, well, Xavi Simons is similar to Olmo, only he's better in every single thing. We should have gotten him instead of Olmo. Now, obviously, the number 10 position is not exactly a priority, so I wouldn't go for someone like that. I think the goalkeeper position is definitely something that the
100%.
club
Yeah,
should
man.
should address. Yeah, I think that is the biggest weak point going forward because we don't have that. We don't
They
have
need shot
any
stopper.
security. Yeah, yeah, in the box, in our box, we're just too shaky, right? And when we do give out those chances, because the way that we play, because we like to play risky football, so to speak, we don't have any security. We don't have something of a I don't know a safety net behind that high line that we play, the risky high line. So if the offside shot fails, at least we would have with a new goalkeeper, improved goalkeeper, maybe we would have a bit more security. So I think that remains the biggest point. And then I would still go for a left winger. I think a left winger alongside Rafinha, so not someone who's gonna give Rafinha some rest here and there. I think he needs to be quality left winger. So I think someone mentioned Leao again in the comments, obviously, and I still think yes, Leao would be my choice if he's possible. Nico would be a good choice as well, obviously as well.
But who do you get
So
rid
I
of
think
if you want to get in Liao, right? Which a lot of people
yeah,
are saying. I
yeah.
mean, do you get rid of Rafinha? Like, did they
No,
play
I think
together?
yeah, together. I
Who?
think I think they play. Yeah, I think they do kind of need to push each other because Leao will be coming obviously as a star, but his season and Milan's season are kind of a bust.
Terrible this
So
season.
maybe yeah. So I don't think he knows what he is. He knows what he can be, but I don't think he will be coming in as a well. Depends. I don't know what his mindset would be at the moment, but I still think he should be a bit humbled by the season that Milan's had and his inability to actually give them a bit more in that season. So maybe I think having him and Rafinha together would be my thing to go because I think we need more depth, yes, but it needs to be the right kind of depth. It needs to be quality depth. I don't mean just a body to fill the hole, the void, and we need someone who's actually going to push Rafinha, who's actually going to be maybe a different type of winger, but the same quality or even higher. So I would still go for Leao. Now, who do we sell to get him? I think at the moment, when I think about all of that, I think Araujo is my biggest player to be sold. I would sell him ahead of De Jong. Now, if an offer comes like a massive one for both of them, I would sell both of them. Probably would. Now, I love De Jong, and I think we should keep him. But if there's an offer you can't refuse, I would still take it probably. But I think
But this is
Araujo.
what Deco has been saying. Like, I mean, he hasn't been speaking too much, which is good. When he it's good that he
Mhm,
doesn't speak too much. But he recently gave an interview and he said that
mhm.
they're looking at finding depth for
Yeah,
Lamine and Rafinha. So
yeah,
that tells
yeah.
you about how the club is thinking. They're thinking about more about scoring than defending or midfield. That they're thinking about how to
I
keep their
think so.
offensive, dominance
Hmm.
going. Where if when these two kids or when these two players do not have that kind of a day or cannot score, we
Yeah.
have capable alternatives who can keep the scoring going. Which tells you how probably Hansi Flick thinks, probably how Deco thinks, probably how they are thinking.
Hmm.
But they didn't mention about left back. They definitely did not mention about a goalkeeper
Hmm.
or what have you. But we all know that we probably do need a touchline breaker. We probably do need a
Yeah.
left back. The defense probably needs both tactical work plus personnel because I mean we
Yeah.
have shipped a ton
Could
of
be.
goals, a ton of goals
Hmm.
this year. We have won
Yeah.
everything, but we have shipped goals at ease. So I think
Hmm.
that does need some work. And in the midfield, do you see any changes? I mean, Olmo is obviously the question here. Olmo and Fermin probably are the questions here. I mean,
Hmm.
do you keep them? Do you let them go?
It's tough. I mean, if offer comes for Olmo, I don't think he'll get sold. He was this big signing this year, and I don't think Barca will sell him immediately next season. I mean, it all depends. Can we actually have a full season of Dani Olmo? If we can have a full season, if they somehow do the miracle that they did on Pedri on Olmo, I would still keep Olmo because you can see the quality is there. It's just we know what it is. It's just he's not there. He's not available. And then obviously having so many injuries, we cannot really expect Olmo to be performing the highest level if he keeps getting injured. Not only does that disrupt your rhythm, but also it's a mental hit and a physical hit. So obviously, if you keep getting injured, you're just not going to perform at the highest level, even when you do come back and you are fit finally. So if that can be fixed, then obviously, yes, Olmo has the quality, but I don't see it happening because it never happens. Season upon season, he's always injured, right? So it always happens. Now, you mentioned something that was interesting. Deco said we're looking for alternatives for Rafinha and Lamine, but you can't have just anyone
No, you have the
replacing those
real
two players.
quality
It
out
has
there.
you have to have. So that tells me we're not looking for someone who's going to be a body in the squad.
No, they're
We're looking
looking
for
for a
someone who,
name.
yeah,
They're looking for
yeah,
names.
yeah,
100% they're
yeah.
looking
So,
for names.
so it's going to be someone who can push those players, who can actually, in the absence of those players, okay, we're looking at that player then. So it tells me it has to be a Liao Nico type of signing. It can't be someone who's going to be there, for rotation purposes. Not really. No, it's going to be someone who can actually carry their own weight and actually be someone big when we can't count on Rafinha or Lamine to do the same things that they usually do. So I would say that from that perspective, we're looking at a bigger winger signing, definitely. Midfield, I don't see big names. Bernal's coming back. We'll have Cáceres still. Now, if De Jong leaves, I don't think that we're going to look to replace him with a new player. I think if De Jong leaves, it's going to be Gavi and Pedri and Bernal trying to replicate what
I
De Jong
understand.
does. And I think, yeah. So I think that's going to happen, which is the right thing to do because
But
you
I
can't
doubt
really go.
Frankie's leaving.
Yeah,
I honestly don't think Frankie's leaving.
yeah, maybe, yeah. I think, and Flick loves Frankie. You can see that,
Yeah,
and I think,
yeah, he
yeah,
loves Frankie.
yeah,
One, two. I mean, Barca's media work in a very conditional way. You would have heard noises by now.
yeah.
He's just isn't there right now. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I doubt Frankie is going anywhere. Maybe his
Hmm.
contract will be adjusted, what have you, or but I doubt at this moment. But strange things happen,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, yeah,
But I think Laporta, there's one thing about Laporta is that he tries to give his coaches the team that they want. He did the same with Xavi in the first season.
yeah.
He
He tried
did
hard.
whatever he could. He pulled all kinds of things, but he gave him the team. He got those five signings in, and we
Hmm.
all know how crazy that summer was. Um, he generally does, and this is not the first time. Even with Pep, he did the same thing. Even like he
Yeah,
is like that. He tries to give his coach the team that they want. He couldn't this time around, and this time around was more like an audition for Flick. Okay, you want to coach us? Show us what you can do with this team. Even I don't think Laporta thought that we would be winning all this. He was like, okay, keep us in the hunt, whatever, and then we'll be okay. But now they've gone and won everything. I think he will do whatever he can to give Hansi Flick the team that he wants. The question is, what kind of a team does Hansi Flick want, and which positions are
yeah,
important for Hansi, and what players are there players that he's looking for that he wants to bring? Like we know that he had probably some kind of a weakness for Jonathan Tah or whatever, but I think that's
yeah,
happening. I think he's staying at Bayern. So it'll be interesting to look into the transfer market now and listen to the media because they will go into
yeah,
overdrive on which player is staying, which player is going,
yeah.
how are they overhauling. So interesting. But let's take
It's
some of the stuff
mm,
here. I mean, what people are talking about, and there are things like Inigo. Does he play?
yeah,
Does he get the same prominence like this year? Or what should the backline be? Is Christensen making a comeback? Do we actually need
mm,
defenders? We are talking about the offense and midfield, but do we actually need defenders? Because I think Inigo was obviously a surprise element with Kubarsi this season.
hmm. I think obviously long term, we can't go with him. We can't really bank on him more than maybe one more season, I would say. But even then, playing the way we play and assuming that we won't change much in the approach itself. Maybe Flick will tweak stuff in the defensive structure. I think he will, and I think he should. But I would still say that Barca will play in a similar manner next season when it comes to this high line, trying to squeeze the pitch and reduce the size of the pitch through the highlight. I think that will still happen. I think we need someone different than Indigo because Indigo's legs will give out eventually. And then having Christensen, yes, he's been absolutely amazing. And I think even coming back from an injury, he still looks amazing. Now, can he stay fit? That's the thing. And looking at the whole squad, there's a couple of primary targets you can sell, right? Sellable assets. Those are Araujo, obviously, Frankie, Rafinha, Fermin, who else? Let's see who else. Is there anyone else who's a sellable asset? I think those are
Right
the
now,
four
maybe Ter
players.
Stegen.
There could be. I mean, who would? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Ter Stegen. I would say that potentially
He'll
yes.
still get something. It's not like
Mhm.
he's still worth something. So I think,
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't
Um,
know. He looks like he's
Christus, yeah,
settled in Barcelona. I don't think he's going
yeah.
anywhere.
I think he'll have to be catapulted out. He's not leaving. If it's up to him, he's not leaving. So the club will have to push him out. Now he's a captain. Number one. Number two, he's just returned from a big injury, and that's kind of that's kind of the moral side of the story, right? Do you immediately bid him after a long term injury? And he's been a good servant to the badge. So it all depends. Do you want to bring morality into this or not? It's weird because football is a business at this level, anyway. So he could be a sellable asset. I think he could be. Christensen could be as well. Obviously, Araujo. So, of all those players, who do we see as actually
It's a tough
realistic
one.
players
It's a
to
real
leave?
tough one because even if you go for someone like Liao, like Van Lee saying, of course. So now you have Liao on the left winger, and then maybe Rafinha as the 10, Lewa as the 9, and Lamine as the right winger. That's the and then Ferran as backup. But I think, does Ferran accept that as a there's so many questions. So like they've all had incredible seasons. So how do you not
Yeah,
uh, you know, how do you
yeah,
not reward them for the season? How do you do that by kicking them out? It's just a
yeah.
difficult. I think Leva is staying. I don't think Leva is going.
Oh yeah,
I,
he's staying because we're not buying. I don't think we're
and
buying
I think
a
his
high
relationship with
profile
Flick
center
and
forward
everything.
now.
I don't think Leva is going anywhere. I think Leva is staying this season.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. I think we get one more season of Lewandowski. Now, if we can somehow still improve our attack without having to buy another striker, which would be the left winger, the obvious one, then yes, you can still go with Lewandowski because he will give you the same things more or less. Give or take 5, 6, 7 goals. Now, when you look at these high performances of players, so players who have performed extraordinarily well, what you have to do for next season as a sporting director or coach, whatever, is look which performances can we replicate next season and which performances are anomalies that cannot be replicated next season. And that's how we decide, okay, now this player, let's take Rafinha for example. We keep saying that Rafinha's season has been outstanding. Now can he do the same thing next
I
season?
doubt it. I doubt
Unlikely.
it.
And so that well, if in that case, that means that his market value will be at the highest now,
Highest now.
which
Now,
means yeah, which
if you want to
means
sell
if
Rafinha, you'll
our
sell Rafinha now.
exactly. So that's the thing. That's the tricky part because if you are risking or banking on the fact that he won't repeat that next season, then you sell him. But if you do believe you can get enough for him from him next season, then you can obviously keep him. But if your goal
I
is,
think he'll
if your
deserve.
thinking is,
He deserves after
he
everything.
has no, absolutely has. I'm just saying if you are looking at it from a cold statistical analysis, whatever it is, business wise, business point of view, then yes, this would be the time to cash in because his value will more than likely drop next season
Yeah.
because A, he will be older, that's one more thing, and B, he's probably not going to score 50 goals again. Probably not because it will be
He's
insane,
already
right?
28. I think
So
what? He's 27 or 28. Rafinha?
20, I think it's 20,
28.
yeah, 28, I think,
So
yeah,
yeah, he's
yeah.
not going
So
any younger. So for sure.
So his market value will drop. So if you want to sell, now is the time to sell. It was the same thing with Araujo and Frenkie and Ter Stegen, for example, because when their value was still high and they were still, on the younger side, that was the time to move on. For example, Araujo. we'll get much less for Araujo now, and there were offers, a couple seasons back, I don't know,
Oh yeah,
100 million and
100
whatnot.
million.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah. So that's the same thing with Rafinha. Now, has Rafinha earned another season? Absolutely, yes. He's been the pivotal point of our squad.
That's our back.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, business wise, if being cold and objective and just looking at the numbers, pure numbers, finances, yes, now would be the best time to sell. But it probably won't happen and shouldn't happen. Probably, looking at it, the whole thing altogether. But yeah.
And then what about La Masia? I mean, I think Flick has been very, and I think he does believe in getting kids from the
Mhm.
youth ranks, and he has shown
Yeah.
that. And we have Tony, Gueye, Fernandez, Joffre. I think there are 4 or 5
Hmm.
players still in Athletic that are being discussed. I mean, do you see transition? We heard that Gerard Martin is coming into the first team. That has already been decided. So that's one player who's moving from into the first team as with a
Hmm.
contract and so on. That was already
Hmm.
mentioned. So if that's the case, are there other kids that you are seeing who are coming in from the youth ranks who will become part of the team? And if so, then how many players are left? It's a tough one.
Yeah, that's the biggest question there. I think, how do we take more kids from that team without significantly depowering them? And yes, La
But
Masia and
now these
Barca
kids
Athletic will
will want
always
it, right?
be.
Because they have seen a whole
They will
generation
want
of
it.
kids suddenly
Yeah,
become
yeah.
overnight superstars because we didn't have players. So all the kids in La Masia will say, "Hey, now I want my chance. I want to be that player."
Right, yeah, it's true, and our players now in the first team have shown them exactly that. Okay, it's possible.
It's
Just keep
possible.
working. Yeah, and they also show them that Flick actually is not afraid of going and using youngsters like 16-year-olds as a pivotal, aspect of his team, of his starting 11, even of the title winning team. So it's possible, and I think the preseason will tell us more. I would, off the top of my head, I would say Joffre will be there because
Probably.
at the moment he's just been renewed. That's one thing, and I think Flick will take him with him on the preseason tour, and then I think Joffre will impress him enough to get a spot in the team. I think that will happen. Now you have, if you want to bin Ben Olmo. If you're going to replace Olmo with a La Masia guy, you can go with Tony Fernandez, for example, someone who can do that job and be that player between the lines. So there are options. Now the question is, do we want to do that, or do we want to go out and buy players who maybe are a bit more experienced, players who will actually balance the team out a bit? Because too many youngsters is it sounds nice on paper, especially with the La Masia youngsters, but you can't have a team
You can't
with just
win a
kids,
big
right? Yeah,
trophies consistently with
yeah.
that. You need some experience for sure. Yeah, I do agree with that.
Hmm. So,
Um,
yeah.
so
So
are we
we'll
all
see.
aligned that it's probably Nico or Leao as the possible options up front?
Hmm.
Because other places are all, they're like squad or depth positions. We're not really
Yeah,
looking at,
yeah. I mean, I think so. I think so. When you look at ceiling raisers for this team, it's probably gonna be, it has to be those two. I mean, we haven't linked to someone like Lookman or someone like Rashford. Now, I don't know. I believe Rashford has immense
yes,
quality. I
immense
think.
potential,
Yeah, yeah.
insane potential.
Hmm. Yeah, insane. Yeah, so it could be an option. Now the Barca just is it going to be a loan? Because I saw his wages. His wages were astronomically high. Obviously, coming from a Premier League side, that's to be expected, right? Now, would Leao or Nico have lower wages? I don't know because people said to me that Nico is on ridiculous wages too. I don't know, so
Yeah.
I can't comment on it. But I've been told that he has high wage demands as well. So I don't know. I honestly, financially, I don't know who is the most reasonable out of the three. But preference-wise, I would say I would take Nico ahead of Rashford, but I would take Leao ahead of Nico. So it would be Leao, Nico, Rashford, because Nico, I think his adaptation or just his
Adaptation,
integration would be
speed,
seamless. Yeah,
and also
yeah,
alignment with
just
the
be.
team. I think he can play with this team.
Mm, yeah,
Also, the
absolutely. So
age group, the youth. I think there's a lot of synergies out
mhm,
there. It can be pretty. And the second half of the season was very good. The first half wasn't, but
mm,
second half of Nico
yeah,
this season was quite good. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would still say that there's value in Nico out there if he can go there, and he can really cause
Hmm.
havoc down that flank, which we haven't, and that's going to cause a lot of team a lot of problems, and give Lewandowski more time to be Lewandowski in the box.
Mm,
So he can still score goals as long as he gets in the right position and he gets fed those balls. He
yeah.
can he can score goals all day long, but he needs
Yeah.
a service. And a player like Liao would make that service even more easier than what it has been,
He would.
this week. Wow, Liao
Yeah.
needs
Yeah.
120 per week. Nico wants 250 per week. I don't know whether these, but I'm guessing Brandy knows this, and the numbers are, but well, these are crazy numbers, insane numbers, for sure. Will Laporta or Deco decide on that? Don't know. If they go with these seats, and they get the money and they are back into 1:1, then our salary scale would be about near 700,000, if I'm not mistaken. And if it's 700,000, they can go for a player. Now, whether they will or not, that's a question. I think they
Yeah.
want to hold on to this model of homegrown
Mm,
with a few players here and there, and that fits in with their agenda. So would be interesting to know. But yeah, I mean, Tom, we have to think about how to analyze this. I think we should talk about. It's very hard to find out weaknesses in a team that has won just 3 cups, and we're about to very close to going to the finals of the Champions League. But we'll possibly take a shot at that, guys, and come up with
yeah. I mean,
how we
yeah.
think.
There, because there are weaknesses. I mean, we are far from a perfect team, far from a team that cannot be hurt. I mean, Inter scored 7 goals on us, and yes, many of those goals have been wonder goals that they will never score again in their lives, probably. And players who don't score goals for them scored screamers for them against Barca. So that's one thing. But still, I think we still allow far too many clear chances to them. Even tonight against Espanyol, I felt like in the first, I don't know, half an hour or
First half
so,
wasn't that
Espanyol,
good.
yeah, Espanyol had like 3 one-on-one chances in the first 20 minutes or something like that. It was
They were easy
crazy. I
scoring.
was like, okay, yeah, and yeah, you could have, they should have scored. And yes, our team is mentally and physically drained, and they were not really at their 100%. While Espanyol were obviously trying very very hard to prevent Barca from winning this on their ground. So there was that. The context matters, but we still, even without the context, we still allow far too many clear cut chances to the opposition. I still think so. I still think our defensive system, while it is obviously has been enough in most cases, we still expose ourselves far too much, I think. And that would be one clear weakness for and Flick has already addressed this publicly. He said that he will work on the defense for next year. He said that.
Yeah, and I'm very interested
So
to see that, like how he improves that, and because it can be
mhm,
improved if you get your high line. High line is not the problem. I think it's the press that is the problem, which Dom has always talked about. If your press is right,
mhm,
the high line works, and if
yeah,
your press is deployed in the right manner, then the goalkeeper, if he can sweep a little bit, has enough time to clear up those times when
mhm,
the high line fails to intercept a ball or what have you. But I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah,
how Flick improves that will be a mark of his next evolution as a coach, because he's obviously shown what he
yeah,
can do with this team and how he can create attacking opportunities at will. He's kept the Barcelona style. He has added a little bit flair to it, has made it more exciting. Goals galore. People love it, but I think that would be his Achilles heel in terms of how does he restore defensive solidity
yeah,
to this team, and that's what I think he will focus on as a coach, and I'm sure he'll do a great job. And that we have already seen that, and then balancing the team out in terms of
yeah,
where we go. But all that will come, and yeah, there'll be lots of names that will be thrown around, and we'll go through the names, and we'll be doing a lot of analysis and profiling. But for tonight, guys, that's number 28, a domestic treble for the men's team. The kids already won the league. Femini have already won the league. Let's hope and wish them all the luck so that they can win the Champions League as well. And that will be a
absolutely.
super season for a super club which is broke and does not have a stadium of its own, and has many other challenges on the way with monumental debt and
Yeah,
so on and so
yeah,
forth. But
yeah,
you cannot ask for better sporting glory than this. And I
yeah.
mean, kudos we have criticized them, but to go through everything that they've gone through, held on, and still taken the club to where I think Laporta and team deserve a lot of
Yeah.
credit. a lot of credit. They're absolutely in the background, silent. And yes, they're lucky too. They also probably did not think that this will happen for sure. But
Mhm.
the fact is, if you look into what they have done, like starting from getting the players out, reducing the salary, balancing the team, this has been a work going on for 4 5 years now, and they deserve credit for that. For starting the work on the stadium. It's almost, and it looks like it's getting there where we can start playing. So obviously there's progress, and it has happened in a remarkably short time, like 2 years. 2 years is nothing in the lifespan of building a stadium. So I think huge credit in the places where it belongs. Plus got in new sponsors. Plus kept the bank rolling, and all of that. So huge credit where it belongs, because it's not just one team; it's the entire club. If you look into everything, there's been sporting success
Mm.
throughout. So yeah, big
Yeah,
credit to Laporta, Enric Masip, everyone else who's in that. And yes, they have their criticism as well. I'm not saying they're all great people and we shouldn't criticize them. We should. But tonight, I think they deserve it as much as Hansi Flick and these players for what they have done in this season. The absolute dominance against Madrid. Well, sure, Madrid also had their own challenges this time around,
yeah,
and it'd be good to
yeah.
have a stronger Madrid next season. Makes for better viewing and what have you. But that's it, guys. Any last thoughts, Dom, before we sign off on this one? And we'll obviously cover the next two games as well. But this is us winning the league.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty late here where I am, and everyone's asleep in the house. I can't scream. I can't really celebrate. I can't really shout. So that's why I'm being so quiet. But yes, guys, celebrate this. Enjoy it. We have earned it. To be this consistently good and on top and competing for like the whole season, like 8 or 9 months or so, it's insane, right? It's just incredible, and to be able to do this with the team that we have, with the game style, the play style that we have as well, it's insane. And we were this close to actually completing the Champions League final as well, which was, how crazy is that? So enjoy it, be happy about it, and yes, as Dev says, next season Madrid will probably be stronger than they are now, but Madrid made Barca better. They push us to be
They
better
all
as
make
well.
each
So
other
that,
better. We
yeah,
need them.
exactly. See, that's the difference between Real Madrid and Espanyol. Where you have Real Madrid and Barca are so intertwined that one feeds the other, and one cannot exist without the other. Whereas Espanyol are just, I don't know, they're just there. They're just there somehow. They can be annoying, and they will fight for their lives against Barca. But I hate them with passion.
And yeah, I
But
mean,
whereas
we won it twice in 3 years,
uh,
and twice in 3 years at their stadium. Like,
the same, yeah. So it feels good. I love that. I love that. That's exactly what I love. It's
all
it's
right,
it's
guys. So
insane.
that's about
So
it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we are signing
mm,
off for tonight, but obviously, super happy. Enjoy. Let's enjoy this as much as we can, because God knows we deserve it after all those years. But thank you for always being there. You guys make this much more, relatable for us, make it fun for us. So we also enjoy doing
yeah,
it, and we learn from you. So thank you guys for staying for the whole season, and we'll be there for the rest of the season. We'll be back in next season. So looking to build this community out as much as possible. Thank you for always being there, and Viscal Barca.
it's Barca.